Hello there.
Hi, my name is Nacho, welcome back to the channel, and I like Star Wars. I'm not a highly devoted fan though. I probably missed a lot of the spin-offs, haven't watched that many episodes of Clone Wars, outright refused to watch season 3 of The Mandalorian despite really liking season 1 and 2, but I watched all 9 movies and I liked Rogue One, so I'd say that I'm somewhat engaged with it. So it was an easy decision when Ahsoka came around to whether or not I was gonna watch it. I'm not. And don't get me wrong, I like Rosario's portrayal of the character. I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead for obvious reasons, but I won't watch the show for things like the costume design looking extremely lazy, the prosthetic looking effortless. Come on guys, that's just rubber. The story being a repetition of tropes already seen before in Star Wars and other shows. And almost every other channel and their mothers already broke it down, so I already know what happens, and it seems pretty boring. And basically the whole Disney approach to the franchise displayed in that hilarious whiteboard in the writer's room. My favorite line is them trying to make it not pro-war. The title of the whole thing is pro-war. It's Star Wars. Try making a popular franchise called Star Mildly Heated Arguments. I mean, they're already filling the story with just women, so they're heading in that direction. My second favorite line is the one that says fucking dinosaurs.
You seem lost.
But because I'm not an expert on Star Wars lore, I'm not gonna go into the ins and outs of Ahsoka. Go watch this pro for that. Cool guy, he's British, cool accent. What I am is a sucker for details, and today I wanna get into how likely would it be for you to survive a lightsaber to the gut. What sparked this discussion, of course, is the quite controversial transition between episode 1 and 2 of the show, where at the end of the first one, Sabine, the seemingly lead character in a show called Ahsoka, is defeated by the dark side force user Shin Hati by getting stabbed quite easily through her midsection. Opening on the second episode, we see her recovering surprisingly well in a hospital bed with her wound borderline cure, and towards the end of the episode she's well enough to give herself a makeover, slay queen, don her Mandalorian armor and get back to Jedi school with Ahsoka. So fans of the second trilogy were absolutely outraged by this, because lightsabers for the longest time were considered to be the most powerful weapons in the galaxy, to which I would add that the wielders had a lot to do with that denomination. And the fact that Qui-Gon Jinn, one of the most powerful Jedi Masters, died from a similar injury, and ever since then there have been multiple cases of people getting lightsabers through their stomach that have survived without too much fuss, particularly if the receiver happens to be a female, and that this basically takes away from the importance that lightsabers have in the story. Now, I'm with the former saying that if the established is that lightsaber wounds are meant to be fatal, that should be respected for all of them. If you get your arm chopped off and the only way to fix it is with a robotic prosthetic, that means that the injury is inherently beyond limb representation, and it makes sense it being a blade made out of super hot plasma. So here are the reasons why I think Sabine and her speedy recovery are complete bullshit. According to the lore, a lightsaber burns on average between 18,000 to 25,000 degrees Celsius, or 45,000 degrees Fahrenheit in boom boom units. At that temperature, a lightsaber can cut through metal rather easily, showcased multiple times through episode 1 and 2, where Ahsoka slices through assassin droids rather effortlessly. Sabine looks to be stabbed in the leftmost section of her abdomen, roughly below to where her liver would be. Normally, and with enough luck, that could be considered a non-lethal injury in the real world. However, when you're getting stabbed with a flaming hot rod 4 times the temperature of the center of the earth, with an average 2.5 cm in diameter blade, in any part of your torso, you can guarantee that almost everything in the surroundings of that is vaporizing almost instantly. I'm talking total cellular destruction. Her blood would be boiling, if not completely evaporating. That blade is burning hotter than the surface of the sun. That's pretty hot. And Shin even holds that stab for a little bit for dramatic effect, and Sabine's in shock like, "Oh, you bitch, you stabbed me."
How dare you?
This reminds me somehow to one of my favorite scenes from the Chronicles of Riddick, where this guy walks into a solar wind. Apparently that side of the planet burns at around 400 degrees and does that to his body. So getting hit with something burning 50 times hotter would make the reaction that good old Liam Neeson has on his face while he collapses to the floor lifeless feel pretty accurate. And Sabine waking up on her hospital bed with nothing else but a nice circular shiner on her belly feels like a lot of bullshit. The force is female, guys. Now that I said that, that could be the real reason why she survived, cause you see, she basically missed her ovaries. That's where the real power comes from. Isn't that right, Catherine? An interesting counterpoint that I saw on the interwebs is that in the game, Darth Vader stabs Starkiller through the back and shoots him into space, both of which he survives. So the people crying over Sabine surviving and that lightsabers used to be fatal are just biased, they hate women, and they should die mad. Imagine not being able to tank a lightsaber in the gut. Am I right, ladies?
'Tis but a scratch.
To which I would refute that Starkiller is, or was, one of the most powerful Force users in the history of Star Wars. I mean, his fucking name is Starkiller. He kills stars. A guy strong enough to bring down a Star Destroyer from space using only the Force. Sabine is a Mandalorian who didn't even finish her Jedi apprenticeship. And she's also a girl. I'm just kidding, that last one is just to stir shit up. Do not come at me. But naturally, you ask in the comment section, The Force Awakens is not canon. To which I would reply,
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't care.
now after that incredibly compelling argument, what could be the pros? Technically, there is no pros to getting stabbed, just ask anyone who lives in London. If we consider Star Wars to be the actual fictional world that it is, and we look at the two injuries a bit closer, Qui-Gon Jinn during the Battle of Fates seems to be stabbed directly to the middle of his spine, so disregarding the weapon, that would be a fatal wound almost every time. Sabine, as I said before, gets stabbed in a relatively survivable part of the body. The temperature will cauterize the wound almost instantly so she wouldn't bleed out, and her getting medical attention rather quickly would highly increase her chances of survival. The fact that she's somewhat force sensitive would mean that her healing abilities are not that of an average person, which would give her another small percentage of survivability. Same with her being a Mandalorian, who are known to be on the tougher side. Of course, the highly thick plot armor that comes with being a female lead in a Disney TV show in the current times would also help a lot with that. So overall, there is an argument, however weak and convenient you want to make it, to the chances of surviving a lightsaber through the gut. Would it be an injury that you can recover from that quickly? I mean, it's a fictional future with robot arms. Considering the level of medical attention they might have, I would still say no. But the show seems to be chaining one set of convenient circumstances after the other, so who knows. And that's pretty much all I can think regarding that. Ahsoka seems to be another Disney product that fails to fit what the fans are expecting from the IP, so I doubt that the performance of the next episodes are gonna be any better, and we're probably gonna see a lot more bullshit like this. I'm gonna be watching the One Piece live action to see if Netflix finally changed their ways, so I'm probably gonna catch up with that later than most. But until then, if you watched this far into the video, leave us a like. Let me know in the comments down below which is your favorite lightsaber battle of the franchise. And as always, I've been Nacho, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.